when you're able to appreciate the differences in religion, in culture, in love, in life, in every aspect of life, it opens you up. It widens your horizons, right? That's when people say like travel is the only thing that you can spend money on that makes you richer.
Welcome to the season finale of Wander By Proxy, a podcast featuring women's travel stories that connect them more to themselves and the world around them. I'm Leah Fallon, and today we have Stephanie, who's a full-time digital nomad, but it's her poetry that has taken her around the world. Here's Stephanie.
I was working for a Fortune 50 company, and I started to travel, and I went to Greece and I went to Italy, and I just started to have like this insatiable desire to travel. So I was like, I have to do something different. So I started looking up jobs that you can travel with, ways that I could travel full time. So I was accepted into this group, and the group was going to 12 countries in 12 months. And I was accepted into it. I was super excited. I was trying to get my company to allow me to work remotely, but they couldn't at the time. It just wasn't progressive enough at the time for that. So I ended up quitting my job and going with the group. And the first place that we stopped at was Quito, Ecuador. So that was like the very first country on my travels, on my journey. So in 2017, I visited 18 countries. And to date, I've been to 38 countries and counting.
What kind of things did you see in Ecuador, and what was like the most memorable thing?
Yeah, for sure. I mean, Ecuador is a really interesting country just because the people are very, very suspicious. So you have to build rapport, build relationships with them before they kind of like open up and let you in. So that was a fun challenge just to start. And one of the most memorable experiences was going to Quilatoa, which is a massive lake near where the indigenous people of Ecuador live. And they typically don't allow outsiders to come see their city or their homes. But luckily, one of our tour guides, he had a friend that was an indigenous family, and they made a deal with him that if the tourists provide a small donation, we would be able to come and visit the home. So, once we saw Quilatoa, which was an amazing experience, we stopped at the indigenous Ecuadorian family's home, and it was so life-changing to say the least. When you walk up to the front door, there's like 150 guinea pigs that greet you at the door. And guinea pigs are actually a cuisine. They're a delicacy in Ecuador. So they sell them for consumption, but they also had them in their homes as a source of heat. So they lived in a very small shack, and the guinea pigs ran at the bottom, and they kind of lived at the bottom of the home. And that was for body heat and to keep the home very warm. So that was just a humbling experience in and of itself. And it was interesting because a lot of us were like, wow, they don't have much, and almost feeling sorry, for the family. And our tour guide said, they actually feel sorry for you all because you have so many things and you don't appreciate the simple things in life. So he's like, some people in the world are so poor, all they have is money. And that was just such a life-changing experience to me. And also to note that things aren't weird, they're different. And I learned that early on in my travels, and it really helped me to embrace every difference, every variants that I saw as unique and not weird. Sometimes when you see different things or you're in a different place, you say, oh, that's weird. We don't do that, or we don't do it that way. From that point, I embraced very early on that it's not weird. It's just different. And so when you're able to appreciate the differences in religion, in culture, in love, in life, in every aspect of life, it opens you up. It widens your horizons, right? That's when people say travel is the only thing that you can spend money on that makes you richer. I really believe that. I really resonate with that, because if you're open to learning and growth, you will absolutely grow exponentially when, in your travels, undoubtedly. I started writing poetry in 2004, so a long time ago, and I would perform all over the country in different locations, different venues, open mics. I was an open mic host. I lived in the DMV for 8 years and hosted an open mic there. So I kind of just continued. I carry that with me in my travels. And I've actually performed in every country that I've visited. I have 2 albums of poetry and song, and they've traveled around the world. And so I love to see the different responses and reactions to my poetry, to my singing in different countries. So whether that's, under an old town split in Croatia, on stage in Phuket, in Thailand, I've performed all over the world. And so that's been an amazing experience. I've had people in Uruguay buy my CD that don't even speak English because they like the delivery of the poetry. So super grateful for that. But that's one of my passions, and something that I will continue to do in my travels is sing and share my poetry with the world. And I do inspirational poetry. So it's motivating, it's uplifting, it's feel good poetry that I write.
Oh, that's amazing. And can you give me an example? You said that you get different reactions in different countries. Can you give me a few examples?
For sure. So one time in Vietnam, there's a backpacking street in Ho Chi Minh City. And I had no idea that this gentleman that was leading a karaoke on the street was very famous in Vietnam. So I just walked up to him and I was like, "Hey, can I sing with you?" And he was like, "Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, no problem." So I get on the mic. I also beatbox, and people love beatboxing, right? So I beatbox, I'm singing, I'm doing my poetry. And little did I know, this guy's famous like in Vietnam. So like I check on YouTube. We have 500,000 views on our video. Just having a good time, like in Vietnam. The crowd was going crazy. It was an amazing experience. I've had people tell me my voice sounds like honey and glitter. And that maybe like they don't speak English as well, right? So that's how they articulated what they felt from it. But yeah, I love the responses, and I love to see smiles on people's face, like when, during my travels.
That is really interesting. I love that. So do you sing too?
Yes. Yep. I used to be a wedding singer for 3 years, actually, as well. In addition to working for the Fortune 50 company, I have serenaded over 80 weddings in my lifetime. And yeah, so I used to do a lot of cover songs, from Journey to Whitney Houston to Nicki Minaj. So that was a good time. And then, and really with my poetry, I intertwine poetry and song. So most of my poems have a song, and then it goes into a poem, and then it goes back into song. So I kind of mix the two in my own art. The other thing that I like to do is film my videos abroad. So I actually met videographers online, just would reach out to people in the different countries I went to. So I have 3 international videos of poetry and song. So the first one is in Caminito in Buenos Aires, Argentina. The second one was filmed in Budapest in Hungary. And then the third one in Ho Chi Minh in Vietnam. So that was really fun to like meet other videographers internationally and come up with different concepts for my poetry and bring them to life abroad, so that's been an amazing experience as well. I've recorded songs in Lisbon, Portugal. Yeah. So it's been fun.
So then COVID hits. How has this mess impacted your plans?
Oh, massively. I think like 3 days before I was headed to Peru, and this is actually the second time that I was supposed to go to Peru and something happened. So I was like, maybe I'm not supposed to go to Peru, but I just really want to go to Rainbow Mountain, Machu Picchu, and experience the food. Like I've heard such wonderful things about it. My Spanish is pretty decent. It's grown, over the past 3 years. But yeah, I was headed to Peru. I was planning to go to Estonia, which a lot of people don't know about or think about, but it's growing from a digital nomad perspective. I wanted to go to Vilnius in Lithuania, which is also growing from a nomad perspective, and then go to Ghana and South Africa. So those were the plans for this year, and they were derailed just a little bit. But, I'm taking this time to road trip, to visit family and friends, and just spend more time with the people that I love, right? And I come home often, but this year has really just been a chance to hunker down, take a course online, learn something new, embrace being home. And, I've taken it all in stride. But I do think that it has put the simple things in life back into perspective and made people really appreciate and value what's most important in life. And even expressing gratitude, right? Like, although I wanted to go to more countries this year, I've been to 38 countries, and I'm so grateful that I've had those experiences, with everything that's going on. So I think it's been a very humbling year for many people, and an opportunity to be grateful for the things that you have had and the things that have happened And then hopefully, you know, we'll all appreciate what's to come. And when those things open back up and when we are able to go to different places again, we'll appreciate that much more, hopefully, from this experience.
Thanks for listening to the season finale of Wander by Proxy. I'm going to take a beat, gather more stories, and Wander by Proxy will be back in August. Be sure to check out Stephanie's poetry, events, and more on her website at justvessel.com and on her Instagram. Links are going to be in the show notes. Be sure to rate and subscribe to Wander by Proxy and follow on Instagram for bonus travel stories. I know we are all eager to get back on a plane. But until we meet again.